A very good evening to everyone. Let's crack CSIR-UGC NET together. So today our topic is evolutionary time scale. And before beginning with the topic of today, let us have a small introduction about myself. I'm Farida Bandookwala and I'm pursuing PhD from School of Biotechnology, ABV. I've done MPhil in biotechnology and I have qualified MP SLET examination and I have a teaching experience of more than 10 years. So let us have a small introduction about Unacademy. Unacademy is one of the India's largest platform for the preparation of NEET PG examination. On Unacademy, what all things you are going to get is you are going to get the daily life classes, and you are going to get the structured courses, you are going to get live tests and quizzes, and for qualifying any kind of competitive examination, it's a must to undergo the quizzes and tests so that you can evaluate how much you have learned so far. Then there is unlimited access to the videos and material available on the Unacademy platform. So if you are going for Unacademy as your mentor for the preparation of CSIR Life Science, you have taken one of the best decisions to do the thing. And there are free live classes, and these free live classes are of following type. Live classes can be on YouTube. The live classes can be on the Unacademy Learning platform, that is the Unacademy Learning app, and there are plus classes. So YouTube classes and special classes, they are absolutely free live classes. You can attend these live classes, you can ask your doubts and queries with the faculty members, and you can very well qualify the examination. Then there is this plus subscription. For plus subscription, you need to pay a certain amount, and for this plus subscription, the amount which you need to pay is already very pocket friendly. And if you are going for a longer subscription, that is around 12 months or 24 months, the subscription becomes more cheaper and cheaper. So what I would suggest is go for a yearly or a 2 yearly program so that you can make the most out of the available time, and you can make most out of all the data available with Unacademy platform. Then this plus subscription, what is good about this plus subscription is you will be getting all the 13 subjects or the 13 units of CSIR on the plus platform in a very structured manner. And faculty members, they can conduct the short term courses, then crash courses for the upcoming exam. So you will be very much in the flow of learning. You won't feel anyhow left behind or like that. Then for this plus subscription, you can also use my referral code, that is FB01, and by using my referral code FB01, you will be getting a 10% discount in the subscription charges. So for getting 10% discount in subscription charges, do not forget to use my referral code, that is FB01. So do not forget at all to use the referral code FB01. So let us begin with the topic of today, that is evolutionary time scale. So this is the part 2 of evolutionary time scale. Evolutionary time scale part 2. So in last part, what all things we have learned so far, we are going to just have a quick revision for that, and then we'll begin with the further topics. So eon is the largest unit of time, then era, then period, then epoch. This is the way it is divided. So there are total 4 eras. There are 4 eon. There are 3 eras, and there are 13 period. And for epoch, there are 7 epochs. So like this, it is divided. We have already seen the names of eons, eras, periods, and epoch. So those students who are going through this video for the first time, just go to the channel and search for Evolutionary Time Scale Part 1. You'll be getting the first part of this video, and you'll be very well understanding that what are the eons, what are the eras, and what are the periods and epochs. and what all are the names of these things in a very sequential manner, which thing came first and which thing came in the last. So this all we have discussed, and the thing that which we are going to talk in today's class is we are going to talk about the environment, the type of animals and plants which came in these durations. This is the thing which we are going to deal in today's class. So the very first eon, we are going to start from the first eon, that is Hayden. First eon, that is Hayden. And this Hayden is also called as Precambrian period. Or it's not period, it's eon. Period is just the word which we use for general. So it is Precambrian. Precambrian eon. And this Hayden is the oldest time. This is the oldest time of the Earth. Hayden. Then in Hayden, there is no evidence of life. No evidence of life. Life was not there because Earth was just actually formed, so no life was there. And if there is no life, means no living organism was found. So this was the time when actually Earth was preparing for the life. So preparatory time for life. Preparatory time for life. So what was the condition during this Hayden? Like what was the temperature of Earth and all? Those all things we need to see. So temperature was very high during this Hayden. Temperature was very high. Then water bodies, environment, it was forming during this period. So water bodies, environment were forming during Hayden. And these are the actual conditions of this Hayden. Now, what are the proofs that Hayden actually existed? So, through the oldest known mineral, Hayden is confirmed that Hayden was there. So, oldest known mineral belong to the Hayden duration or Hayden eon, and that is zircon. Zircon. Zircon is the oldest known mineral. And this oldest known mineral belongs to Hayden eon, right? And the oldest rock also belongs to Hayden. So during Hayden there were actually rocks. So oldest rock also belong to Hayden. Oldest rock belongs to Hayden. So obviously if there was no life but Earth was there, so definitely all these type of things must be there during Hayden. So oldest rock was there, then oldest mineral, that is zircon, was there, and early signs of carbon dioxide and water vapor was there. Early signs of carbon dioxide and water vapor was there in Hayden, right? So during Hayden, what all things were happening? There were lots of lightning events and volcanic eruptions. Lightning events and eruptions. So we have already seen the Urey Miller experiment that lightning were actually responsible for formation of the biomolecules. So that this was the time when Earth was actually preparing for the life form. So this preparatory form was actually due to these lightning and various volcanic eruptions and all these things. And the most important thing which one need to remember here is there was no molecular oxygen. No molecular oxygen was present in duration of Hayden. So this was the very first eon and it was the oldest form and oldest time. So no much idea is there that what all things were there. But whatever was there and whatever is important according to CSIR that we have included over here. in this hidden, right? So remember, there was no molecular oxygen, and a question might come in the SLET kind of examination that the oldest known mineral, that is zircon, it belongs to which eon? So you would be going for hidden. So after hidden, let us move to the second eon, that is Archean. This is the second eon. Archean, the second eon. Then this is also Precambrian period. Precambrian. Archean is also Precambrian period. So in Archean, what actually happened? Archaebacteria came, because the word itself is saying archae. So can you see over here, archae? So it's very easy to remember that archaebacteria. And how would you remember this hidden? It is not at all difficult to remember hidden. If you are reading hidden, the spelling hidden, is it something like head? Yes, isn't it? It is sounding like head. So whenever a baby is born, the first body part which comes out of the body of the mother is head. So the first eon, the oldest eon, is hidden. So you can remember it like this, that at the time of birth, the first body part that comes out is head. Now archaea, archaebacteria is related to archean. So archaebacteria is the primitive bacteria, that is what we say. So archean. So in this archaebacteria came. Archaebacteria came, and along with this archaebacteria, we have just seen that in hidden there was some kind of volcanic eruptions and there were lightning. So when archaebacteria came, there was previous to archaebacteria, like before the formation of archaebacteria, there must be some self-replicating molecules. So in Archean, self-replicating molecules came. Self-replicating RNA molecules. Self-replicating RNA molecules evolved. And because of the formation of the self-replicating RNA molecules, the first life form came. First life form evolved. This is the reason that because of the RNA molecule, the first life form came. So the simple single cell life form which actually came during Archean is Archaebacteria or bacteria. Archaebacteria, Archaebacteria or bacteria. The first life form which came in Archean is Archaebacteria or bacteria. Right? So the Archaebacteria or bacteria, they actually came in Archean, and probably they tried to colonize, and the first colonial bacteria which was seen on the face of earth is cyanobacteria, and they are also in the category of the first stromatolites, that is the first fossil that is present on, like we have obtained so far, is of stromatolites. So first stromatolites also seen in Archean. First stromatolites, and probably colonial cyanobacteria. Probably colonial cyanobacteria. Probably colonial cyanobacteria they were. So if cyanobacteria has come, that is, we call cyanobacteria as blue-green algae. So if cyanobacteria, then photosynthesis should also take place, because cyanobacteria, they were having the colored pigment. So what was the need of this colored pigment? So there must be some kind of photosynthetic activity. So photosynthesis must have come. Photosynthesis must have evolved, better to say it this way. Photosynthesis must have evolved. Then Cyanobacteria, if it is performing photosynthesis, that means it is also performing photolysis, that is the breakdown of water in presence of light. And because of the photolysis, there must be production of oxygen. Oxygen production, oxygen production through photolysis. Oxygen production through photolysis. So cyanobacteria is also given the term that oxygen producing bacteria. They were the bacteria which actually brought oxygen to earth. So cyanobacteria also known as oxygen producing bacteria. Cyanobacteria is also known as oxygen producing bacteria. And this is the primitive cyanobacteria, and this oxygen producing bacteria, they are not actually the cyanobacteria which are present in today's time. They are the primitive cyanobacteria, and the primitive cyanobacteria whose fossil we have now, or the oldest fossil which we have obtained of any life form, is of stromatolites. So these oxygen producing bacteria are the oldest or primitive cyanobacteria. These are the primitive cyanobacteria. And these primitive cyanobacteria, their fossil we have till now, and they are called as stromatolites. Stromatolites. This is the oldest fossil we have now. So oldest fossil also. So question might come on the oldest fossil. So it will go to stromatolites, and which actually belong to the category of primitive cyanobacteria. Right now, the concentration of oxygen was kept on increasing. It was just increasing and increasing and increasing. So organisms which were actually in the duration of Archean, they would have taken up the aerobic mode of respiration because of the production of lots of oxygen. So now they could use oxygen also. So formation of aerobic organisms also occurred in this duration. So concentration of molecular oxygen kept on increasing. Right, concentration of molecular oxygen kept on increasing, and thus organisms would move towards the aerobic respiration. Thus organisms would move towards aerobic respiration. Right. So why aerobic respiration was considered, and why not they were completely into the anaerobic form? Why did they move towards the aerobic mode of respiration? Though one can go on the way they are going, but why did they shift to the aerobic respiration? So energy production in aerobic respiration is faster. Energy production is efficient. Energy production is efficient in aerobic mode of respiration. Thus, aerobic respiration evolved. Thus, aerobic respiration evolved. Right. So now, if you are considering the plant point of view and then animal point of view, that which plants came and then which animals came. So if we are talking about plants, that which kind of primitive plants, like not exactly plants, but still we are saying plants. So which kind of plants must have come during Archean? So Archean eon, so they are cyanobacteria. And if we are talking about animals, so which kind of animals must have come during this? So they are the kind of bacteria. Cyanobacteria, because of the blue-green pigment, they belong to the category of the plants line of evolution, and bacteria, they belong to the animal line of evolution. Then you need to know the word of macrofossil as well as microfossil. Macrofossil and microfossil. So if one is getting some amount of organisms at a particular place, they belong to the category of microfossil. And if they are getting large amount of fossils altogether, they belong to the category of macrofossils, right? So during Archean, oldest fossil of prokaryotics also appeared. So oldest fossil of prokaryotic cell appeared. Of prokaryotic cell appeared. Then oldest microfossil also belong to Archean. Oldest microfossil. Oldest microfossil also belong to Archean. Then oldest macrofossil also belong to Archean. Oldest macrofossil also belong to Archean. And during Archean, if we are saying that life was primitive, so there is no eukaryotic fossil in the duration of Archean. So no eukaryotic fossil. No eukaryotic fossil in Archean. This is the thing that you need to know about Archean. So we have seen Haydn, then we have seen Archean, and the third eon, that is Proterozoic, that we are going to deal with. So the third eon, is Proterozoic. Proterozoic. This is the third eon. So what all things actually occurred in this, we are going to deal in a very sequential manner. So oxygen catastrophe happened in Proterozoic. Oxygen catastrophe. That is, oxygen was evolving in the atmosphere, and atmosphere became oxygenic. So oxygenic atmosphere began to form. Oxygen catastrophe. Then second thing which occurred in Proterozoic is transition to oxygenated environment. So after the oxygen was building up in the environment, there was completely transition to an oxygenated environment. Transition to oxygenated environment occurred. Right. So these are the two things about the atmosphere. Now let us talk about the life form, the biota of this duration, Proterozoic eon. So eukaryotes must have come because previously there were actually the prokaryotic type of life. So in Proterozoic there must be eukaryotic life form. So eukaryotes must have appeared. Eukaryotes appear. Then this appearance of eukaryotes would lead into single cell eukaryotes. Like if eukaryotes should have come, they would not be directly the major eukaryotes, but they would be the very simple eukaryotes, the single cell one. So single-celled eukaryotes must have come. Single-celled eukaryotes. Now these single-celled eukaryotes would have given rise to the first complex single-cell life. So from the single-celled eukaryotes, first complex single-celled life. Single-celled life must have come. And these first complex single-cell life, when we are talking in terms of animals, they were actually protists. Protists. And which kind of protists specifically? They were dinoflagellates. They were dinoflagellates, eukaryotic, plus they had nuclei. That is the membrane bound organelle. So this is a very important thing, that in Proterozoic there was the production of dinoflagellates. So not production, it should be evolution of dinoflagellates. Right. Now another event which have occurred in the Proterozoic, the next event is first unicellular green algae originated. First unicellular green algae originated. So first unicellular green algae originated from where? From cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae. And these green algae, they must have gathered into colonies. They will gather and they will form colony. They will gather and form colony. And when they have gathered and formed colony, then multicellular life must have come into being. Then multicellular life should have come. After this, what after this? The green algae will colonize in the sea. They will form long or large colonies in the sea. So green algae colonizes in the sea. Green algae colonizes in the sea. This was the event in the Proterozoic. Now this Proterozoic, we have seen that there is the evolution of protists, that is dinoflagellates. Then we have seen the green algae in the colonies of the sea. Now what other things happened in a very different sequence? Let us talk about them. There are various other things which are associated. So the other things which are associated with the Proterozoic is first radiation of dinoflagellates, like there is a name, that is Acri-TAC. So they appeared. So first radiation. So first time when the organism it has formed, it has started the radiation. It has started into evolving some other form. So first radiation. First radiation of dinoflagellate. First radiation of dinoflagellate like Acri-TAC. So if you are saying radiation word, that means they will evolve and they will change and they will also increase in number. So first radiation of dinoflagellate like Acri-TAC. Now the second event of Proterozoic is diverse algae and soft-bodied invertebrates must have appeared. So diverse algae and soft-bodied soft-bodied invertebrates. Vertebrate animals appeared. Then next thing in Proterozoic is first sponges and trilobitomorphs have come. First sponges and trilobitomorphs must have come. And these sponges, they are themselves multicellular. But their multicellularity is not that profound. The cells are very loosely packed in the sponges. So first sponges as well as trilobitomorphs have come in the Proterozoic eon. Then the next event in Proterozoic eon is multicellularity evolved. Multicellularity evolved. Then Ediacaran biota flourishes worldwide in the sea. Ediacaran biota flourishes. Ediacaran biota flourishes worldwide in sea. So this is the thing. So there is one period in Proterozoic, that is Ediacaran. So definitely if we are talking about Proterozoic, Ediacaran biota would increase. Why would it increase? Actually because there is no competition, there is no limitation of resources, there is lots of space abundantly present. So obviously Ediacaran biota is going to flourish in Ediacaran period, and this Ediacaran period actually belonged to Proterozoic eon. Now other important points which is related to Proterozoic, the other points which are related to Proterozoic is oldest fossil of eukaryotic cells appeared. Oldest fossil of eukaryotic cell appears in this Proterozoic eon. Cell appear. Then fossils of simple multicelled eukaryotes. Fossils of simple multicelled eukaryotes. Then good fossils of the first multicelled organisms are also found in the Proterozoic. So first multicelled fossils or simple multicelled fossils are found in the Proterozoic. Now another thing which is related to Proterozoic is the longest eon of the Earth's geologic time scale. It's the longest eon of Earth's geologic time scale. So these type of questions, they can come, which is the longest Earth's geologic time scale. So it is Proterozoic. And after Proterozoic, discussion on Proterozoic, we'll be moving towards Paleozoic. Fourth eon, that is Paleozoic. That is Paleozoic. So this Paleozoic, we are going to talk about Paleozoic in detail, and we are going to talk about the periods and all the things which are related to the Paleozoic eon. So let us begin with Paleozoic. So Paleozoic, we are going to move from the oldest to the newest. So the oldest is Cambrian. Oldest is Cambrian. This Cambrian is the oldest one. So if Cambrian is the oldest one, let us begin. Maximum evolution has occurred in this time. This is a time of maximum evolution. Maximum evolution in this time. Maximum evolution in this time. Then the evolution occurred in the water body only. No evolution of land form. No evolution of land form. All the evolution occurred in the water only. So no evolution of land form or terrestrial form. Life still evolved in water. Life is still evolved in water itself. This is the thing that is related with Cambrian. Now, moving more in detail with the Cambrian, that what else happened in Cambrian. So Cambrian period, it is the actually beginning of Paleozoic. So there are total 6 periods in the Paleozoic, and we'll be talking about all of them. And this is the oldest one. So as soon as Paleozoic began, the first period which came was Cambrian period. So Cambrian period begins the Paleozoic era with a bang. This is a terminology which is used, that there was a bang. Cambrian came with a bang. So why does this Cambrian came with a bang? Why the word bang is used? It is used in a broader term, that this bang is used for evolution. This bang is used for evolution of lot many life forms, and many of the things extincted out. So let us have a discussion on this bang, that why it is called as bang. So many Ediacaran fauna, they died out. Many Ediacaran fauna die out. Then actually this is the end of the older time, and it is the beginning of new time, new environment. So this is the new time on the earth history. So still in this, there was no land plant, and fossils are there, but no land plant fossils are known from the Cambrian period, right? So most of the life of animal as well as plant, it was in the aquatic. Most of the life we have written it. So yeah, most of the life was still in the water. Now, if we are moving ahead and talking about a specific life form, so let us talk about arthropods. So arthropods were the most dominant animals in the oceans in this duration. Arthropods were by far most dominant animals in the ocean. By far most dominant animals in the ocean. So yeah, they were dominant. They were there in large amount, large number, and they all belong to ocean only. So this was the time when there was maximum biodiversity in the arthropods. So if we are saying the maximum biodiversity in the Cambrian was of arthropods, so we should not forget that in today's time also the maximum diversity is of arthropods only. So biodiversity of arthropods, it started from the Cambrian and it is still now, and they are in the largest categories, or there is a wide variety of arthropods. So we can write one sentence, that is biodiversity diversity of arthropods biodiversity of arthropods is maximum till now. So this is the thing which is associated with Cambrian. Now the next thing that is associated with Cambrian is that appearance of first chordate. Very important, appearance of first chordates. So this is the appearance. This is not the dominance. Just they'll be seen, but they won't be occupying large space, large area, or they won't be dominant over there. So this is just appearance of first chordate. Then this is the time when the earliest Aeginatha vertebrates were also formed. Earliest Aeginatha vertebrates. So the life was still in water. So Aeginatha vertebrates, what do we mean by Aeginatha vertebrates over here? That is jawless fishes. This is the term which we mean over here. So appearance of first chordates, but they were not dominant, and earliest Aeginatha were also formed in Cambrian period. Now Cambrian, we are going to discuss many points in Cambrian. So there was explosive increase in the massive invertebrates phyla, and the invertebrate phyla, it diversified. So this is the same sentence which is being repeated and repeated and repeated. So we can say invertebrate phyla, diversified. Invertebrate phyla diversified. Right? This is the thing. Now all the modern phyla and classes of skeletonized marine animals were actually developed in the Cambrian period. So almost all the modern phyla and classes of skeletonized marine animals, they developed in Cambrian period. Almost all modern phyla and classes of skeletonized marine animals goes to the time of Cambrian, and there are numerous fossils which belong to the Cambrian period. So numerous fossils belong to the Cambrian period, and they are the modern phyla which used to appear in these fossils. So numerous fossils belong to Cambrian period. Then there are certain other things which actually appear. So first appearance of brachiopods, then trilobites mollusks, echinoderms, and animals. So first appearance. Remember the term appearance over here. It is not dominance, it is just appearance. Now, what happened during this period? The atmospheric carbon dioxide content was way higher than the today's time. So atmospheric carbon dioxide was 15 times of present content, was 15 times of present time. So it was a highly carbon dioxide concentrated atmosphere. And after this sudden increase, during the Cambrian, there was a sudden increase in the diversity of many animals and phyla. So that is the Cambrian explosion we have seen, and major diversification of life it occurred in the Cambrian explosion. Now the next thing that we are going to see about the evolution is mass extinction. Mass extinction. This is the word which we are going to deal now, that how the mass extinction occurred, and there are various mass extinctions which we are going to discuss just now, that what are the types of mass extinction, which where when does they appeared, and all everything about mass extinction we are going to talk. But before that I would just take a very small pause, so just a second. So we are talking about mass extinction. So mass extinction, what do we actually mean by mass extinction? Is large scale death or complete wipeout. Large scale death or complete wipeout of an organism. So let me just check if I am visible live or not. So just a second. So yeah. Okay, so what do we actually mean by mass extinction? Is large scale death or complete wipeout? Complete wipeout of a organism or a large number of species altogether. So in the history of Earth, there are total five mass extinctions. And these five mass extinctions we are going to talk about, that when did they actually happen. So first mass extinction, it occurred in Ordovician period. First mass extinction in Ordovician. Second mass extinction is in Devonian. Third mass extinction is in Permian. So all these three, they are actually belonging to the Paleozoic eon. Paleozoic eon. And you know what? That this Permian, it is the largest mass extinction. It is the largest mass extinction. So if it is largest mass extinction, what do we actually mean by this? Is 96% of species they wiped out in this mass extinction. 96% species wiped out. So this belonged to the Paleozoic eon. So we need to talk about two more mass extinctions. So the fourth mass extinction is in the Triassic, Triassic, and the fifth mass extinction is in the Cretaceous. Cretaceous. So these are the five mass extinctions which you should remember. So as such, direct question won't be asked on mass extinction, but it's important event, so we have discussed over here. Now we are going to talk about the next period. First period that we have seen is Cambrian. Now the second one that we are going to talk about is Ordovician. So the next is Ordovician period. So we are going to talk about the events which occurred in this period. So in this, life form shifted from water to land. So the very important thing which occurred in Ordovician is shifting of life form from water to land. Water to land. Shifting of life form. And if we are saying that life shifted from water to land, so we know the sequence that how evolution occurred in the series of plants and how evolution occurred in the series of animals. So let us have a very quick flow chart or a flow diagram of how the plants they developed. So algae, they gave rise to bryophyta. From bryophyta, formation of pteridophyta. From pteridophyta, gymnosperms, and from gymnosperms, angiosperms. This is how the plant line of evolution have occurred, and how the animal life form have occurred is from invertebrates to fishes, fishes to amphibians, from amphibians to reptiles, and from reptiles it diverged in two directions, that is birds and mammals. That is birds and mammals. So this is the way how it has occurred. So now overall from Ordovician to Silurian to all further periods, we are going to see each and everything what particular event occurred in that period. So when we are talking about Ordovician or we are talking about Silurian or we are talking about the further periods, I'm going to divide the whole thing into animals and plants. So when we are talking about Ordovician, let us talk about the events which occurred in the lives of plants. So what all changes occurred in plants that we are going to talk. So this is the first time when the life came on earth. First time life came on earth, or life came on land, not earth but it is land. First time life came on land, the very important thing. Now first green plants and fungus they have come on land. So the first plants which came on the land, they are actually bryophytes related to the live worlds. So first green plants and fungi on land. Then terrestrial plants probably evolved from green plants. So terrestrial plants they have evolved from the green plants. So definitely they were from the cyanobacteria to green plants and from green plants to terrestrial plants. So terrestrial plants came from green plants, definitely green plants. And can you see over here one thing that we have mentioned, plants and fungi. These two things we have written together. So why plants and fungus? So the most important concept for the development of life, plant form of life on land is building up of xylem network. So if xylem is there, there is going to be flourishing life or there is going to be channel of water in the plants. So now when there was life in the water, they did not need any kind of xylem kind of structure for the distribution of water because the water was all around them. They didn't need any kind of water to be absorbed. They could absorb it from wherever they want. But when they have shifted to the land, they cannot take water from anywhere. They have to go deep in the soil. So for that, they did not develop the xylem and roots very profoundly. Very profoundly. They had to depend on fungus for the absorption of water. So the fungus which were actually helping these green plants for the absorption of water from the soil, they are actually arbuscular mycorrhiza. So arbuscular mycorrhiza. So arbuscular mycorrhiza. So that was a kind of symbiotic association. Symbiotic association. Formation of arbuscular mycorrhiza. So fungus it gave water and plants it gave the food to the fungus. Right. So among the first land fungi may have been the arbuscular mycorrhiza fungus, and the earliest known corals also date from the Ordovician. So another thing, corals. It is about the corals. So earliest known coral date back to the Ordovician. Earliest known corals date back to Ordovician. So these are the events which are related to the evolution of plants in case of Ordovician. Now in Ordovician we are going to talk about the animals. What all events are related to the evolution of animals in Ordovician. So what happened in animals? There was diversification of echinoderms. Diversification of echinoderms. Echinoderms, they diversified. They actually came in the Cambrian, but their diversification occurred in the Ordovician. Then diversification of invertebrates. So invertebrates, they also came in Cambrian, and now they have started diversification, invertebrates. So first true vertebrate appeared in Ordovician. This also dates back to the Ordovician, first vertebrate, and that to true vertebrate. So first true vertebrate dates back to Ordovician. Now, which is this first true vertebrate? To be very specific, it is a fish, and they are the ostracoderms. Ostracoderms. They are the fishes, that is the ostracoderms. Then we have also seen that the formation of agnatha fishes in Cambrian. So here the appearance of first gnathosome. That is the jawed fishes. Appearance of jawed fishes. So agnatha in the Cambrian and jawed fishes, that is gnathosome. Dates to the Ordovician period. Now we need to remember some of the important points which are related to Ordovician. So they are marine algae, they were abundant in this duration. Marine algae was abundant. Colonization of land by diverse fungi. Colonization of land by diverse fungi. And plants and animals. As the land plants have appeared, land animals have appeared. So now the thing that remains is diversification in the end of the Ordovician. Now invertebrates which were actually dominated were mollusks, arthropods. So invertebrates, they dominated, they were the mollusks, arthropods, dominated. And in the end of Ordovician, there was mass extinction. Very important to remember, mass extinction. Mass extinction by end of Ordovician. Through, like, what was the reason of this mass extinction? So the reason of mass extinction in the Ordovician was onset of cold period. Onset of cold period. So this is about Ordovician. Now let us talk about Silurian period. Silurian period. Now we talk in terms of plants and we talk in terms of animals. So first of all, we are taking plants. What happens in terms of plants? What all changes have come in plant? So we know that bryophytes, they have already come in the Ordovician. So we have to take our story ahead from the bryophytes, that what all changes now would have come in the development of plant. So first, vascular plants. First, vascular plants. They appeared in Silurian. First, vascular plants. So the formation of true land plants is also dated back to the Silurian. That is the true plants. First vascular plants, they are the true plants. So the one which we are forming in Ordovician, they are belonging to the they are depending on fungus for their food, for their water. But here in Silurian, the first vascular plant they are appearing. So the example is the rhinophytes, and their relatives, So their relatives, they are the bryophytes, right? And diversification of the vascular plants have occurred because now vascular plants, when they will come, obviously they will have to diversify. So diversification of early vascular plants. Right. Then the first fossil record of the vascular plant also dates back to the Silurian. So first fossil record of vascular plant dates back to Silurian. Now, say talking about the second, that is animals. What happened to animals in the Silurian? So diversification of mollusks occurred. Mollusks, they dominated during Ordovician and now their diversification is continued. Diversification of mollusks and first jawed fishes also appeared. First jawed fishes, they appeared in Ordovician, and then first bony fish also came in the Silurian. Sorry, first jawed fishes, they actually appeared in Ordovician, but we are writing first jawed fish in Silurian as well because they dominated, abundant or seen. So first bony fishes also came in the Silurian. First bony fishes, they also came in the Ordovician. Now we are talking about arthropods, that arthropods, they are dominating. So the first terrestrial arthropods, they are also belonging to the Silurian. So first terrestrial arthropods are known from Silurian. First terrestrial arthropods are known from Silurian. Then first millipedes on land also belong to the Silurian. First millipedes. First millipedes on land. Then first spiders, mites and scorpions, they also appeared here in the Silurian. First spiders, mites and scorpions. So arthropods, they diverged into two lines, that is millipedes and spiders, mites and scorpions. So arthropods, they gave rise to millipedes as well as spiders, mites and scorpions, that means. So another thing that is related to Silurian is the shortest period of Paleozoic era. So we can write over here, it is the shortest period of Paleozoic era. Is the shortest period of Paleozoic era. So this is about Silurian. Now next we are going to talk about Denovian period. Denovian period. So what we are going to talk in Denovian period is, it is the first significant adaptive radiation. First significant adaptive radiation. It is the first significant adaptive radiation of life on the dry land. Of life on dry land. So first significant adaptive radiation, the most important thing that occurred in the Denovian period. Now as we divide it in plants and in animals. So first we are going to talk about plants as usual. So plants, what happened to the plants? First seed bearing plants, they came over here. First seed bearing plants. First seed bearing plants came. So the first seed bearing plant means progymnosperms. Progymnosperms, they came in the Denovian period. Then by the end of the period, the first seed bearing plants, they appeared. The real seed bearing plants appeared. By end, gymnosperms appeared. By end, gymnosperms appeared. Then in Denovian, first trees also came. So first trees, they also came in the Denovian period. First trees, they came in the Denovian period. Now talking about animals. What happened to animals? First insects were seen. First insects were seen. Then first tetrapod was seen. First tetrapods were seen. Then first amphibians. First amphibians were seen. And diversification of bony fishes occurred. Diversification of bony fishes. Diversification of bony fishes, they occurred during the Devonian period. Now moving to the next period, that is Carboniferous period. So what all things occurred in the Carboniferous period that we are going to see. So I should have taken black pen in this. So Carboniferous period. So why it is called Carboniferous? Because all the fossils of that time, Carboniferous period, they are found in the form of the coal. So life of this time, we can see it in the form of coal in today's time. And the meaning of Carboniferous is coal bearing. The meaning of Carboniferous is coal bearing. The meaning of Carboniferous is coal bearing. Right? So what all events occurred in Carboniferous? So extensive forest of vascular plants formed. Extensive forests of vascular plants. Extensive forest of vascular plants they formed. Then the vascular forests, they were actually of gymnosperms. Gymnosperms. Then highest ever oxygen level was during the Carboniferous period. Highest oxygen level of Earth. Highest oxygen level of Earth. That is, in today's time, the percentage of oxygen on Earth is 21%, but in that time it was 35%. Highest oxygen level on Earth, because the Earth was extensively covered by the vascular plants, that is gymnosperms. So because of lots and lots of photosynthesis, high amount of oxygen was there. Then all the modern classes of fungi were present in the late Carboniferous period. So all the modern class of fungi were present in late Carboniferous. In late Carboniferous. So what all other things happened in Carboniferous is origin of reptiles. Origin of reptiles. Then what else? First winged insects, they also evolved here. First winged insects. Then what else? Amphibians, they were dominant. Amphibians, they were dominant in Carboniferous period. So these are the events of Carboniferous period. So what you should remember for Carboniferous is extensive amount of oxygen, and that is around 35%, and today we have 21%. And Carboniferous, all the fossils, they are in the form of the coal. So this is the thing. Then forest, they were abundant during this period, but they were not the forest which we see in today's time. The forest, they were belonging to the vascular plants, belonging to the category of gymnosperms. They were not actually the forest which we see in today's time, but it was a little bit different type of forest. It was densely covered by that. Now after this we go to the Permian period. Permian period. Permian period, right? So what happened to plants? As we say, first we talk about plants and then we talk about animals. So what happened to plants? There is a comment, मैडम मैं पीजी लास्ट ईयर में हूँ, मुझे नेट की तैयारी करना है, तो आप मुझे बताएं कैसे तैयारी कर स्टार्ट करें। आप लास्ट ईयर में हैं, तो अगर आप चाहें तो जो दिसंबर वाला 2020 वाला CSIR नेट है, उसके लिए भी आप लास्ट मोमेंट प्रिपरेशन कर सकते हैं जितेंद्र sir 2020. And if you are not that much prepared, then definitely you can go for the 2021 June. अगर आप उसके लिए अभी से तैयारी करते हैं, आई डोंट नो हाउ मच यू हैव लर्न सो फार इन दी सिलेबस ऑफ CSIR, तो अगर आप चाहें तो लास्ट मोमेंट स्टडी करके, अगर आपके कोई टॉपिक्स बहुत अच्छे हैं तो आप वो टॉपिक्स को बहुत अच्छे से अभी रिवाइज करके सिर्फ वही टॉपिक्स उठाइए जो आपको बहुत अच्छे से आते हैं, ठीक है। अगर आप वही टॉपिक्स पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करके उन्हीं टॉपिक्स को बहुत अच्छे से पक्का करके जाते हैं और उनको क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करते हैं, तो हो सकता है कि आपका इस बार का भी नेट क्वालिफाई हो जाए। और आने वाले समय में मैं बहुत सारी वीडियोस हाउ टू क्रैक CSIR नेट 2020 दिसंबर पे भी वीडियो बनाने वाली हूँ, तो स्टे ट्यून्ड फॉर दोज वीडियोस, उसमें से आपको बहुत कुछ आइडिया लगेगा। और अगर आपकी प्रिपरेशन इतनी अच्छी नहीं है तो अगर आप कंटिन्यूसली अनअकैडमी से प्रिपेयर करते हैं, आप जो जो टॉपिक्स हम बता रहे हैं, आई डोंट नो, मुझे बेसिक से स्टार्ट करना है, जितेंद्र सर 2020 इज सेइंग कि मुझे बेसिक से स्टार्ट करना है, नो प्रॉब्लम, आप बेसिक से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि मैं इवोल्यूशन पढ़ा रही हूँ, तो ये इवोल्यूशन जो भी स्टूडेंट सारी क्लासेस अटेंड कर रहा है उसे हर चीज पता चलेगी। हम जो पढ़ा रहे हैं वो ये सोच के नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं कि आपको पहले का प्रायर नॉलेज है। हम वहां से स्टार्ट करते हैं कि आपको बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग की ABCD से लेके हाईएस्ट तक लेकर जाएं, ताकि आप सारी ही चीजें बहुत अच्छे से समझ सके, सिस्टमैटिकली समझ सके। और अगर आप चाहते हैं तो आप अनअकैडमी का प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन ले सकते हैं। प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन से आपको सारी ही 13 यूनिट बहुत ही सिस्टमैटिकली मिल जाएगी। यूट्यूब पर हम जो क्लासेस करते हैं उसमें भी हम चाहते हैं कि मैक्सिमम सिलेबस कवर करें, प्लस पर हमारे सारे ही जो टॉपिक्स हैं वो बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से बने हुए हैं, सिस्टमैटिकली अरेंज है, और वहां पे भी क्रैश कोर्सेज और अपकमिंग क्लासेस चलती रहती हैं। अगर आप वहां पे जाके प्रिपरेशन करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली आपका निकल जाएगा। और जैसे कि ये मेरी जो क्लास है ये मेरी थ्योरेटिकल क्लास है, फिर इसके बाद जैसे ही इवोल्यूशन का मैक्सिमम पार्ट कवर हो जाएगा तो मिड ऑफ द मंथ में मैं इसके ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस लूंगी। तो उन ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चन को अगर आप क्लास में आके अटेम्प्ट करते हैं ये सारे लेक्चर सुनने के बाद, तो आपको खुद से पता चलेगा कि आप ये क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करने में कैपेबल हैं या नहीं है। देन जितेंद्र इज सेइंग मैम पेड कोर्स कैसे ले सकता हूँ। सी, पेड कोर्स लेने के लिए आपको हमारे अनअकैडमी लर्निंग ऐप पे जाना पड़ेगा। अनअकैडमी लर्निंग ऐप, इस पर जाना पड़ेगा और ये आपको प्ले स्टोर से मिलेगा, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है। अनअकैडमी लर्निंग ऐप पर भी हम स्पेशल क्लासेस करते हैं, तो आप स्पेशल क्लासेस फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट होती है वो अटेंड कर सकते हैं। फिर अनअकैडमी लर्निंग ऐप पर जब आप जाएंगे, आप आपका अकाउंट बनाएंगे, आप वहां पे लिखेंगे कि मैं CSIR नेट लाइफ साइंस के लिए प्रिपेयर करना चाहता हूँ, वहां पर ऑप्शन रहेगा। जब आप वो लेंगे तो वहां पर ऑप्शन आता जाएगा कि कैसे आपको फर्दर पेमेंट प्रोसेस करना है, और जो पेमेंट है उसके अंदर आपको डिस्काउंट मिल सकता है 10% का, अगर आप मेरा रेफरल कोड यूज कर रहे हो FB01। तो अगर आप कॉपी और पेन लेकर बैठे हो जितेंद्र सर, तो आप अपनी कॉपी में लिख लो ये रेफरल कोड FB01, तो इससे आपको 10% डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा। वहां पर भी आपको सारे जो 13 यूनिट्स है वो सिस्टमैटिकली मिल जाएंगे। मुझे नहीं पता कि आप कौन से सब्जेक्ट से PG का लास्ट ईयर है आपका, आप कौन से स्ट्रीम से बिलोंग करते हैं, तो उस अकॉर्डिंग आप प्रिपेयर करिए। अगर आप जूलॉजी से कर रहे हैं, अगर आप बायोटेक्नोलॉजी से कर रहे हैं, तो आप ऐसी यूनिट छांट लीजिए जो यूनिट आपको लगती है कि आपसे हो जाएगा, कि आप ये वाली यूनिट बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं। अगर आप जूलॉजी के हैं तो आप क्लासिफिकेशन वाली यूनिट, सेल बायोलॉजी वाली यूनिट, ये सारी यूनिट्स उठा के लास्ट मोमेंट की प्रिपरेशन करिए, और हो सकता है कि आपका 2020 दिसंबर वाला ही नेट क्वालिफाई हो जाए। और अगर नहीं भी होता है तो अभी आपके पास 6 महीने और है, तो यू कैन गो फॉर CSIR 2021 जून। और मीनवाइल केमिस्ट्री है, ओ डियर, तो ये तो लाइफ साइंस का कोर्स पढ़ा रही हूँ मैं, आप केमिस्ट्री से हैं, तो ये जो पूरा चैनल है इस पे बहुत सारे अच्छे फैकल्टीज हैं जो केमिस्ट्री का भी केमिस्ट्री के भी लेक्चर्स लेते हैं। ये इस वाले चैनल पे लेट्स क्रैक CSIR नेट लाइफ साइंस, तो आप उनके लेक्चर्स सुनिए, और रेफरल कोड भूलिएगा मत FB01, ताकि आपको 10% डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा। और आप केमिस्ट्री से हैं तो आप अपने सब्जेक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग उन टॉपिक्स को अटेम्प्ट करिए, उन टॉपिक्स को उठाइए जो आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं इन टॉपिक्स में तो मेरे को सब कुछ ही आता है, तो वो टॉपिक्स आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल रह सकते हैं। सो हम थोड़ा सा हट गए थे हमारे टॉपिक से, हम वापस आते हैं अपने टॉपिक पे, दैट इज द पर्मियन पीरियड। सो लेट अस talk about Permian period. So Permian period, the plants which were actually developed in Permian period is cone bearing gymnosperm. जितेंद्र is still saying अभी ले सकता हूँ, ठीक है, आप देखिए अपने अकॉर्डिंग कि आपको क्या बेटर लग रहा है आपके शेड्यूल के अकॉर्डिंग, और उस हिसाब से आप अपना प्रिपरेशन करिए, ठीक है। अभी फिलहाल मैं इवोल्यूशन पढ़ा रही हूँ जो कि लाइफ साइंस का टॉपिक है। तो अब मैं वो कंटिन्यू करने वाली हूँ. Plants, those plants which actually evolved in Permian period, they are cone bearing gymnosperms. Cone bearing gymnosperms. Cone-bearing gymnosperms, and these cone-bearing gymnosperms, they are the first true seeds bearing plants. First true seeds bearing plants. So this is the thing about the plants in the Permian period. Now we will move towards animals. That what happened to animals during the Permian period. So about animals, it is like the radiation of reptiles occurred. Radiation of reptiles. Reptiles, they actually came in the Carboniferous. They came in Carboniferous. We have just seen that in Carboniferous there was origin of reptiles and winged insect. Now in the Permian period they will try to change into further complex forms. So radiation of reptiles. Then origin of the most present day group of insects also occurred. Origin of most present day groups of insects. Groups of insects. This happened during Permian. Then diversification of the early amniotes into the ancestral group of mammals like turtles. अब क्या हुआ? What happened is the amniotes, they came. So life, it originated in water. So during the embryonic life, it was a major need to have a water-based evolution. So amniotes, they came into being. That is the very important thing which is related to Permian. I would write Permian over here so that you would not forget that what we are talking about. So in Permian amniotes, they came. Now, another thing that is related to Permian, which we have discussed in the starting of the class. What did we talk about Permian regarding mass extinction? That the largest mass extinction occurred in Permian. Largest mass extinction occurred in Permian. So largest mass extinction, it occurred in Permian. So how much large? 96% of life of water and 70% of life of land got extinct during the Permian or at the end of Permian. So do not forget that largest mass extinction, it occurred in Permian. Then extinction of many marine and terrestrial organisms at the end of the period, as we have seen, 96% of water and 70% of land. The extinction was probably triggered by the vast volcanic eruption. So what was the reason of mass extinction? The reason of mass extinction was volcanic eruption. And after volcanic eruption, we need to know that where this volcanic eruption it occurred. So volcanic eruption in Siberia. And how much area did it cover? It covered approximately 7 million kilometer square. This large area was actually covered because of the volcanic eruption. So these eruptions, they are thought to have released poisonous gases, and poisonous gases such as H2S and CO2 in large amount. So this could have caused suffocation in the land animals, and it was also linked to the global warming and acidity of atmosphere and acidity of the oceanic water. So the life in the ocean, it became very difficult for them to survive because of the acidity, because of the lower pH of the water, and then the atmosphere, it became very poisonous, so they could not breathe properly. So on land, there was massive wild fires and deforestation and soil erosion. The Carboniferous rainforest collapsed and left behind vast region in the desert. So this is what we have seen in our Permian period, that all these events, they occurred in the Permian. Now moving towards the Triassic period. So what all happened in Triassic period? So we will deal with plants and then animals like that. So plants. What happened to plants in Triassic period? So cone-bearing plants, they dominate the modern landscape. So cone-bearing plants, they came. Cone-bearing plants, that is the gymnosperms, dominate the landscape. Cone-bearing plants, they dominate the landscape, and secondary endosymbiont algae, they became the most important plankton. Secondary endosymbiont algae became the most important plankton. Right? This is the thing that we need to see in Triassic period. Then let us talk about the animals. What happened to animals? So dinosaurs, they evolved and they radiate. The Triassic period is linked to the evolution of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, they evolve and radiate. Evolution of dinosaurs and radiation of dinosaurs. Then the very important thing which is related to Triassic period is first flying vertebrate. First flying vertebrate. So the first flying vertebrate which is linked to Triassic period is Pterosaurus. And this Pterosaurus is so it is like the dinosaur itself. So first flying vertebrate like dinosaur evolved. So first flying vertebrate like dinosaur evolved. Then first mammals, they also came during Triassic period. First mammals, that is the cynodonts. First mammals, they also came during the Triassic period. Then what else happened in the Triassic is the formation of telosed fishes. Telosed fishes. So it is the first and shortest of the Mesozoic era. It is the first and shortest of the Mesozoic era. And both at the start and end of the Triassic, it is linked with the major mass extinction. So we'll go to the previous page, that is the Triassic, and we'll write over here that it is the first and shortest period of Mesozoic era. And major mass extinction is there. Mass extinction at beginning and at end. This is the thing which is related to Triassic period. Now we will move our story from Triassic to Jurassic. Jurassic period. Jurassic period. So what all events occurred in Jurassic period is gymnosperms continue. Gymnosperms, they continue as dominant plants. And then formation of first angiosperms, formation of first angiosperms. Then the dinosaurs, they were abundant and diverse in Jurassic period. Dinosaurs, abundant and diversified in Jurassic. Dinosaurs, abundant and diversified. Then first lizards, they were also seen in the Jurassic period. First lizard. Then pterosaurs were the dominant flying vertebrate in the Jurassic period. Pterosaurs. Dominant flying vertebrate. Then first bird also appeared in Jurassic. First bird. And the mammals which were seen in Jurassic period, there were mammals in Jurassic period, and the mammals of Jurassic period, they were small. So small mammals in the Jurassic period. First vertebrate living in the sea, that were the fish with the fish and the marine reptiles. So for primary vertebrates in sea, they were fishes and marine reptiles. After that, numerous turtles could also be found in the period of Jurassic. So numerous turtles. So these all things are related to the Jurassic period, and it is also called as Mesozoic marine revolution. Mesozoic marine revolution. Mesozoic marine revolution. This is what we are talking about Jurassic period. After Jurassic, we will be talking about Cretaceous period. So talking about the Cretaceous period, that what happened in Cretaceous. So Cretaceous period. What happened in Cretaceous period? So Cretaceous period is linked with the development of flowering plants and their diversification. Appearance of flowering plants. Appearance of flowering plants. That is the angiosperms. Then increasing the diversification of angiosperms. Increased diversification of angiosperms. Increased diversification of angiosperms, and along with angiosperms, mammals, birds and insects. So Cretaceous period is linked with appearance of flowering plants, that is angiosperms, increased diversification of angiosperms, mammals and birds and insects. Then development of angiosperms and insects is a good example of co-evolution, that angiosperms and insects, they appeared together. Like why? So when angiosperms, they came into being, they had this pollens. So they needed these pollens to be dispersed. So wind, water, these physical methods of dispersal of pollens was one thing, but there was efficient dispersion of pollens needed. So there was development of angiosperms. Along with angiosperms, bees they also came, insects they also came. So insects, bees, these all things, they were the main carrier of the pollen. So plant, they had to evolve their flower in such a way that bee should be benefited. So plant, it created a sap which bee could take and have its food, and in return bee just distributed the pollen or dispersed the pollen. So development of angiosperms and insects, it's a very good example of co-evolution. Development of angiosperms and insects, good example of co-evolution. Then there was continued radiation of dinosaurs. Just a second. I will have to take some slides. I will have to just a second. I'll just include some of the slides in this. Yeah. So yeah, we are good to go again. So now what we were seeing, that continued radiation of dinosaurs also occurred. Continued radiation, that the dinosaurs, they were evolving. There were continuous changes in the dinosaurs. So continued radiation of dinosaurs. Then what else? First, monotremes, marsupials and placental mammals, they came in the Cretaceous period. So first, monotremes, marsupials and placental mammals. They are linked with the Cretaceous period, and it is ended by mass extinction at the end of period. Mass extinction at end of period. So there's a hypothesis given by Alvarez, a scientist named Alvarez. He gave a hypothesis on how these dinosaurs they extincted during this Cretaceous period. This is what he had to say, that a massive comet came from the sky, or an asteroid came from the sky, and it was as big as 10 to 15 kilometer, and it was a very massive comet or asteroid, and when it fell on the earth, it caused lots of destruction. And this asteroid and a comet, it contained a mineral that was iridium, and this iridium actually led to the extinction of dinosaur. So in the end of the Cretaceous period, there was extinction of what? Dinosaurs. So we will also just note down this thing, that Alvarez hypothesis. Alvarez hypothesis on dinosaur extinction. So what he has to say? A big comet or asteroid that is around 10 to 15 kilometer big fell on Earth. It was high in iridium, and this iridium led to extinction of dinosaurs. And in the Cretaceous, there was end of all the dinosaurs. Right? Now we are moving to epoch. We are moving to epoch. So epoch, how we are going to take it from the Cenozoic era. We'll talk about the eons, epochs. So first is Paleogene. In Paleogene, we are going to talk about Paleocene epoch. Paleocene epoch. So what all things happened in Paleocene epoch? A very brief things I'm going to talk about Paleocene and all. So I'll just take another color. So major radiation of mammals. Major radiation of mammals, birds, and pollinating birds. And pollinating birds or insects occurred in the Paleocene epoch. And what else happened in Paleocene epoch? There was development of large mammals. Development of large mammals. These are the things which are related to the Paleocene. Now the second in this is Eocene epoch. Eocene epoch. So what all things happened in Eocene epoch is angiosperm, the dominance of angiosperms, it increased. Dominance of angiosperms increased, and there was continued radiation of the mammals, and the most present day mammals, they were actually formed in the Eocene epoch. So dominance of angiosperm and continued radiation of most present day mammals order of mammals. This is the thing. Then appears of several modern mammalian families. Appearance of several modern day mammalian families. This is about the Eocene epoch. And the another thing that you need to know in this, that this is the oldest known fossil of most of the modern families. They belong to the Eocene epoch. So here I will write that the oldest known fossil of most of the modern day mammals are found in are belonging to the Eocene epoch. Now we are going to talk about the Oligocene epoch. Oligocene epoch. So origin of many primate groups, it occurred in Oligocene. Origin of many primate groups occurred in the Oligocene. Then rapid evolution and diversification of fauna and mammals. Rapid evolution and diversification rapid evolution and diversification of fauna and mammals. That it occurred in the Oligocene epoch. Then major evolution and dispersal of modern type of flowering plants. Major evolution and dispersal of modern types of flowering plants. Then global expansion of grasslands. Global expansion of grasslands. These are the things which are related to the Oligocene epoch. Now we are going to talk about the Neogene. So in the Cenozoic era, Neocene is there. And in Neogene, the first we are going to talk, this Neogene is made up of two epochs. So first is Miocene and second is Pliocene. So first we are going to talk about Miocene epoch. The two epochs of Neogene, one is Miocene and another is Pliocene. So first we are going to talk about Miocene. So what all thing happens in Miocene is continued radiation of mammals and angiosperms. Continued radiation of mammals and angiosperms. And earliest direct human ancestor is also dated back to the Miocene epoch. Earliest direct human ancestor is also seen in the Miocene epoch. Then ancestors of apes and including humans, they were in the Miocene. Ancestors of apes. Then in this there were two newly formed biomes. Two newly formed biomes were there, and these two newly formed biomes were kelp forest and they were grasslands. So the modern mammals and birds family, they became recognizable in the Miocene epoch. So modern mammals and birds families became recognizable. Became recognizable in the Miocene epoch. Then second thing that we are going to talk in the Neogene is Pliocene epoch or Pliocene epoch. So what happens over here is deciduous forest, they proliferated. Deciduous forest proliferated. So what are the deciduous forests? Those in which the leaves they fall off once in a year, they are the deciduous forest. Then coniferous forest and tundra, they developed. Coniferous forest and tundra, they developed. Then grasslands, they spread on all the continents. Grasslands spread on all continents. Then appearance of the bipedal human ancestors. Appearance of bipedal human ancestors. Then rattlesnake appeared first time in the Pliocene. So rattlesnake appeared. So appeared, did not dominate, appeared, right? So these all are the things which are related to the Pliocene. Now we are talking about the Quaternary. So Cenozoic era, Quaternary. And in this we are going to talk about Pleistocene and Holocene. So Pleistocene. Pleistocene epoch. So what happened in Pleistocene? Origin of the genus Homo. Origin of genus Homo. Then rise of Homo sapiens. And a major extinction event also occurred of the large mammals and megafauna in this duration. So those mammals which actually got extinct, they were mass extinction. In mass extinction, what all things were included was mammoths, woolly rhinoceros, then Irish elk, then cave bears. These all things actually became extinct in the Cenozoic era, Quaternary and Pleistocene. So remember this, it might be important for the mammoth, woolly rhinoceros, Irish elk and cave bears point of view. Lastly, the last epoch, Holocene. Holocene epoch. So this Holocene epoch is the historical time, the time in which we are living, time in which we are living. This is the present day time, and rapid proliferation of human species worldwide occurred in Holocene. Rapid proliferation of humans occurred. This is the thing related with Holocene epoch. And after this Holocene epoch, there is a whole story which is related to development of humans. So the development of humans and how and when and all the thing that we are going to talk in our next class in a very detailed manner. So for now, we have done the evolution in a very systematic manner in two classes. One we have done yesterday, so there is a part 1 of the evolutionary time scale and there is part 2 of evolutionary time scale. So we have discussed almost all the things which should be good according to the CSIR net life science point of view. So this is the thing that you should know in your evolutionary time scale. So this is it for now. So those who haven't subscribed our channel, that is Let's Crack NEET PG, please subscribe our channel, that is Let's Crack NEET PG, and just so please subscribe our channel Let's Crack NEET PG and hit the bell icon for getting all the notifications of the upcoming videos, and use my referral code FB01 for getting a 10% discount. And if you really like my video, you can give it a like and it will really motivate us. So this is it for now. We'll be meeting with another interesting topic of evolution. And if you have any query or any doubt, you can write in the comment box. There's a live chat option also, so while you are watching my class live, you can write your doubts and queries live in the class. And if you are watching this after the session has been over, you can just write your doubts and queries in the comment box. And also, if you want to study any